A tiny rhino calf wandered away from the safety of its herd, its little feet pressing softly into the red earth beneath the tall, sun-drenched grass. The world around it was full of sound-chirping birds, buzzing insects, and the rustling of unseen creatures hidden in the brush. The baby moved with curiosity, fascinated by fluttering butterflies and the scent of sweet fallen fruit. Oblivious to danger, the calf ventured deeper, its soft snorts echoing as it sniffed the ground. Unseen by the innocent creature, a massive African rock python lay perfectly still, its camouflaged body blending completely into the sunlit earth. It waited, its cold eyes locked on the tiny figure, approaching closer with each step. Then, with terrifying speed, the python launched forward. The first coil struck like thunder, slamming into the calf's side and wrapping around its midsection. The baby tried to scream, but its voice cracked into a high-pitched squeal of fear and pain. The second coil followed, then the third, each tightening with crushing force. The little legs kicked helplessly, trying to break free from the relentless grip of a predator that knew no mercy. The calf's breath grew short, its eyes wide with panic. The sound of its scream carried far across the grasslands, slicing through. The wind like an alarm. In the distance, near the edge of a grove of acacia trees, a lone silverback gorilla froze. He was foraging, breaking branches and searching for fruit when the sound pierced the air. His dark eyes narrowed. That cry, it was not ordinary. It was desperation. It was a call for help. The gorilla's massive chest rose and fell as he stood upright, his mind processing the sound. Behind him, his troop continued feeding, indifferent to the cries. But he remained still, focused. A decision formed within him. He turned, his gaze scanning the forest floor. He moved with purpose. His hands grasped a heavy tree, branch thick, old and jagged. He tested its weight. It would do. Without hesitation, he charged toward the scream, the branch clutched tightly like a warrior's staff. Meanwhile, the mother rhino sensed something was wrong. Grazing quietly just minutes ago, her head suddenly lifted. Her ears turned toward the horizon. Her nostrils flared. She sniffed, listening, searching. A shift in the wind, the absence of her baby's presence, it was enough. She let out a low, rumbling call that rolled across the grass. No answer came. The herd around her sensed the change. Their movements stopped. Their eyes turned toward her. Without a word, they began to form a wall behind her, their gray bodies moving together as one. She charged, leading the stampede, driven not by thought but by instinct. As she ran, trees blurred past. Dust kicked up behind her as 4 tons of fury surged forward. The ground trembled. The baby rhino was barely conscious. The python's coils had tightened further. Its breath came in short gasps. Its muscles weakened. The world around it faded, becoming a blur of pressure and heat. Just when all hope seemed lost, the gorilla arrived. His dark form burst through the thicket, eyes locked on the horrifying scene. He wasted no time. With a roar of primal energy, he raised the thick branch high and brought it crashing down upon the python's scaled body. The sound rang out a sharp, wet impact. The snake hissed in fury, but did not release. The gorilla struck again, using not just brute force, but strategy, aiming at different points of the coiled body. The python jerked, its grip loosening slightly. The gorilla pressed harder, trying to wedge the branch between the coils and the calf's body, using leverage to pry them apart. Behind him, a deeper rumble began to grow louder. The ground shook. The air grew heavier. The rhino herd was coming. The gorilla did not stop. He could feel the vibrations beneath his feet, the thunder of hooves behind him, but he kept striking, determined to save the life of a creature that was not his own. Suddenly, The mother rhino burst through the grass. Her eyes took in the sight, her baby trapped, a snake coiled around it, and a large black figure attacking near her calf. She did not pause to think. Her instincts screamed to protect, to destroy whatever threatened her young. She charged, horn low, eyes blazing. The gorilla sensed her too late. He turned his head and saw the fury coming toward him. In front of him, the python still wrapped tight. Behind him, an unstoppable force of maternal rage. He stood between two deadly dangers. For a moment, the world held its breath. The python, feeling the shift in power, realized it could no longer win. It released the calf and slithered backward, disappearing into the grass like a shadow fading in sunlight. The gorilla stepped aside just in time, letting the mother reach her child. She lowered her massive head, nudging the calf, checking for life. The baby stirred, weak, bruised, scared but alive. The rest of the herd surrounded them, forming a circle of protection, watching silently. The gorilla stood still, breathing heavily. He dropped the branch. Dust clung to his fur. His chest rose and fell, not with fear, but relief. He turned to leave, but something stopped him. The mother rhino looked up. Her eyes locked onto his. For a few seconds, neither moved. There was no charge, no snort, no roar, just silence. Then, in a gesture that no one watching could ever explain, she lowered her head slightly, not in fear, not in defeat, but in acknowledgement. A gesture of respect, a thank you without words. The gorilla returned her gaze, then slowly turned and disappeared back into the shadows of the trees. His part was done. He had answered a cry not his own, and walked away without expecting anything in return. That moment between them defied all expectations, all rules of nature, all barriers of species. It was more than survival. It was understanding, a choice to protect, a decision to act. In a world where power often rules, this was a moment where compassion won. Stories like this make us question what we believe about the wild. They remind us that even in a place ruled by instinct and strength, there is still room for something more, something deeper. If this story moved you, imagine how many others are waiting to be told. Keep watching, because the jungle holds more than danger. It holds hidden moments of courage, kindness, and silent alliances you would never expect.